Welcome to Creatively Exposed, a podcast and safe space for Black and marginalized creatives to empower, educate, and uplift you through the final product of self and creation. Bring a homie, share with a homie, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to Creatively Exposed, and we're going to talk about the word delusional since, Saturn is going into Pisces soon. I don't know the actual dates. Probably should check that. But also Venus is in Pisces, and what the hell did I say? Saturn is going into what? Saturn is going into Pisces. I don't know if I said that correctly. However, I got all my Bengals on today. Delusion is, and shout out to whoever it was on Twitter. I follow a lot of spiritual accounts on Twitter, and they're talking about delusion and like the actual meaning of what it is, right? And it's really giving lack mindset because it's acting as if what is not possible is possible. And that's not what we're trying to do when we're creating things, when we're building the world that we want to live in, when we're manifesting things. It's actually ilusionado. I don't know what that is in English. Illusionment? Who knows if that's a word? But it's believing that the vision that you have is possible. It's ilusionado is being fully into the idea, the fantasy, the hope of it all. And so sometimes things become buzzwords, but the energy behind it isn't great, because then it means it's faithless, that you're kind of setting yourself up for failure because you don't even believe this thing is possible. And that is not what we're about, y'all. So I just want to jump in and that was on my spirit. But welcome to Creatively Exposed, a podcast that rehumanizes the creative one episode at a time through every level of their creative careers, projects, etc., all from the rough draft to the final product, right? And I have been in a place of deciding, and it's kind of hard because I've been configuring what life looks like when I'm out on a limb and taking a risk, while also surrendering and having what illusion. You see the segue? You see how 2 and 2 is equal in 4? And to be able to choose a life that has very few steps on the road. Sometimes people are not going to get how you're trying to exist in this world, and that is none of your business. Unless you're causing harm, that's different. There's extremes for everything. But if you are going off the beaten path and it don't make sense to anybody, but it makes sense to you, then that is what matters. Sometimes there is a knowing, there is an understanding that is more internal than external. And sometimes you feel crazy as fuck. I ain't even gonna lie, that's how I feel. I have been accustomed to overwork, underpayment, because it's facts. Like, even if it's a higher salary than some folks, it's still underpayment when you compare it to non-black and brown folks, and let alone, let's not even discuss gender, right? And to decide that jumping back into that rhythm is not right for me feels counterintuitive. But shout out to my therapist, bro, because this has been a week. There has been a lot of things going on, and I probably haven't even, like, the new stuff I probably haven't even processed yet. And what is it like to really exist in? A couple of episodes back, I was saying how Alice Sparkly Cat Astrology, she's an astrologer, said the work has already been done. And to experience life in that frequency of the work has already been done, as in, do you really need to overwork, overextend, overgive for what seems like a false sense of security? Is just, I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm going against what feels logical but is right for me, right? And I'm also speaking in a privileged space where I can decide to figure out what that looks like. Stability has been kind of weaponized in my life because of the background that I have. I have immigrant parents that came here to have a better life. And so that's a generation that is accustomed to working and always being employed for stability, right? Like, you go to school, you get a job, period. And to say that I'm going to be a creative entrepreneur and see where it goes is terrifying, first of all. But also, it feels like I'm wilding. And there are many people that have been successful and whatnot, but there's still the figuring out how to release the fear, the programming of, then how am I going to make it? But also, I should be XYZ. Shouldn't I be XYZ? I'm just out here living. Whatever the critical words are. And so, for anyone who may be in between the decision, or just something in their spirit is over it, I'm not gonna say, like Beyonce, quit your job, but if you wanted to, what does the alternative feel like? So I definitely am sharing this. I did an exercise with my therapist and we did a word map. And in the word map, there was stability and security. That was like my middle part, right? And it made all the things that I want to do look like a hobby because they don't meet the qualifications of survival. And then she's like, so what if you remove stability? It's a little cold. I'm like shivering. Hold on, let me put on a blanket. The color is green today, but I'm about to change it. For anyone who's like, what's the color of the vibes in the room? Ooh, no, blue is a little too much. Let me put red back on. So when I removed stability, all of the options that I have for myself were possibilities for sustainability. They became less of a hobby and more like venues and of streams of sustainability. And I think stability should also include mental, physical, spiritual well-being. I think sometimes just in survival alone, we ignore all of that and we become disconnected to how we feel. There were new opportunities that came my way, and I felt it just felt wrong. And I knew it, but I was taught, and maybe by self, right? Society and things and all that stuff, I just was gonna bypass it because I'm like, nah, you've been in this space long enough, you should blah. But my spirit was just unwell, okay? And so I had to make the right decision for myself, and it feels wild. And I am used to the false sense of security, and I'm used to also being employed. I've been employed since I was like 18. For some folks, it's been even younger. But what does it look like to live a life of what if and finding those answers? And I'm not gonna really give myself, I'm gonna give myself a year. Absolutely not. I'm gonna give myself 3, maybe 6 months, and that's a lot. But I'm gonna see where I go. I think my biggest fear was that I'd cut off my wings before I learned that I could fly. And I did that once already. And then I ended up in the same place that I was before, but with less comfort. So, this is really for my folks who maybe are in between or have been considering or whatnot. I see you. Even if you are, you got that day job, but you looking for your way out. And it might be 5 years from now, right? But you have a game plan, whatever it is. I'm going to go on the journey of figuring out how these so-called hobbies can sustain my life. I have my crystal business and spiritual guidance. I'm creating some things I need to work on even further. I have the zine coming out in March and some special drops earlier, actually this week. So this Friday, I will be dropping the other version of the zine, which will be ebook, e/audiobook, and that's available for purchase. I'll drop the link because you can actually purchase it now. I'm gonna share it with a wider audience on Friday. And to new beginnings, to allowing ourselves to fly instead of being anchored, because I think stability has been an anchor, but it's been an anchor that holds me in place when I would like to fly. And so sometimes it is a cage. And I wonder if there's just other ways, potentially bartering, potentially co-working, partnerships, etc., grants, and I'm gonna go figure out these possibilities as I also work on writing, and it seems like a project that I have is growing into something bigger, and that is really, really exciting. So, bon courage. have courage. Wishing y'all luck on these new ventures or the old ones. I tapped in. Actually, my mom helped me tap into something that I forgot I wanted to do. And so to uncovering all the feathers in your wings until you realize you could fly. Shout out to y'all. Do not forget that you are magic. Pas oublier où c'est magique. No te olvides que eres magia. And to those who celebrate, to the lovers, the singles, which I am in that category, may you remember that you are love and you get to share it with someone, platonically, romantically. However, you are the love that you seek. And therefore, if you are, vibing it out on your own on Valentine's Day, know that you are worthy of all the things that you are willing to give to somebody else. So, may we love each other more a little bit each day. See y'all next time. Hey y'all, if you have not realized, I am using Anchor. I've been rocking with it for a while. It is now made by Spotify, and it's super cool because you can do it from your phone, from your computer, on their app or their website, and you can create ads to make money, subscriptions, etc., and it's free. And so if you've been waiting on getting your podcast on, Anchor might be the thing for you. You could get started today.
Thank you for listening to the show. Check out our Patreon, the website in the show notes. Rate, review, and subscribe or share with the homie. And don't forget that you are magic. No te olvides que eres magia. Pas oublier où c'est magique. Take care and see you next week.
Are you interested in unlimiting your healing journey? If so, please check out astrolizasix.com, also in the show notes. If you want to begin your crystal collection, need a tarot reading for spiritual guidance, or a natal chart reading, the dates open up in next week, July 8th. So if you are interested in any of those things, we got decks, incense, sage, all of the things. Check out astrolizasix.com and reconnect to your inner healing.